Which suburbs are going to be the best to buy in 2025? That is the question that I am getting the most right now. Jeremy Knight, the Knight Group, your favorite Austin realtor. So if you allow me, I actually spent an entire day going through and pulling all the data from every suburb around the Austin area. I looked at things like how many homes are available right now, what new construction looks like, what months of inventory looks like, days on market, which suburbs are up, which suburbs are down. And I have a complete list right here in front of me. We're going to go through this, but I'm going to give you the 5 that you should be looking at for 2025. And then at the end, I'm actually going to go through and show you some of the stats that I found just amazing for this year. Now, what I'm trying to do here with this video is help give you information that not many other realtors are going to give you, so you can make an informed decision about where you may buy or sell in 2025. Now, I know a lot of you reach out to me and want this data for free. I'm not giving out this data to anyone. I'm only giving this data specifically to our private clients. So if you do want to work with us in the future, this is where you're going to get, is coming to us and getting this private data. But I'm going to go through some of the stats at the end that I just found really interesting. So let's look at suburbs to be in for 2025. I'm going to go to number 5 on my list, and that's Hutto, Texas. Oh, and by the way, drop a comment below. Which suburbs do you think people should be buying in the most in 2025? Now, look, this is my data that I pulled, so it's going to be a little biased, all right? I'm just letting you know that right now, but if you want more data, more information about other suburbs, reach out. So, Hutto. Why did I put Hutto number 5? Well, believe it or not, they actually sold more homes this year in Hutto, about 15% more this year than they did the previous year. And their total sales year over year dollar is up about 1.4%, which is pretty impressive because a lot of the Austin area is down. But why is Hutto one of those suburbs that I think is going to be one of those great suburbs? I have said last year that Hutto was going to be good for this year. And guess what? It is on this list. In fact, it's one of the only, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 suburbs around the Austin area that are actually up year over year to right now, which is going through October's numbers, really beginning of November. There's a lot of good things happening, Hutto. Obviously in the news, there's a lot of developments coming up. If we even just open up the Austin Business Journal and type in Hutto, we're going to see tons of information about Hutto, new business parks coming, new things coming. And look, Hutto is only about 35-40 minutes to downtown Austin. And then if you're going to be working in, at Tesla, or maybe you're going to be working at one of the new factories, that whole I-35 corridor is seeing such a thrive and growth because all of these companies that are supporting Tesla, these semiconductor chip companies, are all going off that 130 corridor. So Hutto is primed for that. Here's a stat that I think is really important about Hutto, though. 45% of the inventory available right now in Hutto is new construction inventory. And the median price for Hutto is $375,000. Those are really, really good stats if you're wanting to get into maybe a starter home, or maybe you're wanting to get into a home that's in a good area, that's a developing area. Now, days on market for Hutto is 29 days, and the list to close price ratio, which was one of the most impressive to me, was 96%. Later in the video, I'm going to go through some of the lowest and highest list to close price ratio. And so what that means is where a home lists and where a home sells, what the difference is in that, right? They're selling about 96. In fact, it's the highest on this list, 96% list to close price ratio, which means they're pricing them correctly and people are buying them for the cost that they are. Now, look, with 45, almost getting close to 50% of the inventory being new construction, there are deals out there with some of these builders. And so that's why Hutto is number 5 on my list. All right, what do you think about Hutto being number 5 on this list? Do you think that was the right move? I'm going to go to the next on this list. I've done some videos on this, so you can check the channel. We've actually done some videos on this one recently. It's not number 1 on this list because you are expecting it to be number 1 on this list, and that's Georgetown. So I put it at number 4 on this list. Now, here's what's interesting about Georgetown. It was the most amount of sales for 2024, a most amount of homes built. But here's why I think it's still primed for 2025. Number 1, you've got pretty decent school districts. Niche.com actually has it. One of the lower ones, but you have some of those areas that go to Leander schools, some of those areas that go to Round Rock ISD schools. Leander and Round Rock ISD are rated pretty well according to niche.com. So Georgetown is just one of those areas that's still continuing to blow up. In fact, you've seen these videos, you can reference those videos, but 4.1 months of inventory means that there's a good, healthy amount of inventory on the market. 908 units available with 421, 46% being new construction. So as we're looking, these builders are giving a lot of discounts and deals still right now at the end of the year. I think they're going to still do that in 2025. All the growth is going that direction in Georgetown. Look, the median for Georgetown is 459,000. If we compare that to Austin, which is more like 550,000, 580, depending on the month, it's a pretty far cry, and it's about 45 minutes. Plus you've got Costco, all of those things out there. So I think that's why Georgetown is number 4 on my list. What do you think? And as far as close to list price ratio, they're about 93.9%, which is a pretty good list to close price ratio. I think this should be on everybody's list. Now, let's get to the one that I like most on this list. And really, if I could have put this at number 1, I would have put this at number 1, because I think there's a lot of good deals to be had in this area, and that is my area, Dripping Springs. Now, Jeremy, that's biased because you live in Dripping Springs. And thank you, Cosmic, for not sponsoring this video. I appreciate you. But at some day, if you ever want to sponsor any of my videos, Cosmic, I'm here all the time. I'd love to have your support. I support you. Okay. Dripping Springs has a lot going for it. The negatives for Dripping Springs is there's not a huge amount of development out there, right? There's not a huge shopping centers. It is on its own little island. And the people of Dripping Springs are probably mad that I'm telling you that Dripping Springs is high on this list. Because look, Dripping Springs has the highest rated school district outside of Eanes ISD. So you have the best school district. That's why a lot of people are moving there. In fact, if you want me to do a full video on some of the new neighborhoods that are coming to Dripping Springs, there's some really, really cool new neighborhoods where you're getting some decent prices. Out in the heart of Dripping Springs, you can get a really good house, brand new house, with some of these builder under $500,000. Dripping Springs median right now is $657,000. If you add 78737, which is really Austin, but it's still part of the Dripping Springs School District, that bumps our numbers up to $750,000, almost $800,000. So like High Point, Belterra, Reunion Ranch, those areas, Parton Ranch, drive those numbers up. But you have a really, really good school district. Now, here's what's interesting about Dripping Springs. 44% of the active inventory is new construction. So if you want a deal and you want me to do a full video on where the best deals are, drop that comment below. Headwaters is one of those places. There's areas, like I said, down close to downtown Dripping Springs that have homes under 500K. There's a lot, and there's new developments still being built. You know, I should just do a video on it. You've already convinced me. But the list to close price ratio, meaning where you're getting good deals, and this is actually not the lowest on this list, but probably like middle tier, middle to lower tier, 92.8% close the list price ratio, which means you can get a little bit better of a deal in Dripping Springs. Dripping Springs right now has almost 5 months of inventory. Okay, so that's number 3 on the list. Again, if you want a full video on any of these, let me know. Number 2 on the list is Lakeway. Now, Lakeway's numbers get a little skewed because, again, they have some of that attrition where some of the area is still considered Austin, but it goes to Lake Travis ISD. But Lake Travis is one of the highest rated school districts. There's a lot of amazing neighborhoods. I've done so many different videos on Lakeway, Lake Travis. In fact, I should do a what's better Dripping Springs versus Lakeway video, because a lot of people are looking at both of those areas. But let's look at Lakeway. Lakeway is at 760,000 median. Now, there's not very many new builds because only 16% of the homes out in Lakeway are new construction right now. So it's not a huge amount, but there is 5.4 months of inventory, and the list to close price ratio is about 91. I think Lakeway is going to see a resurgence in prices next year because there's not as much new construction, because there's not as much active inventory. There's only 105 homes available right now. And right now, Lakeway is down 9% year over year. So with 11.4% reduction in people buying out in that area. So like Sweetwater, prime example, there's a year of inventory out there in Sweetwater. You get a really, really good deal on some of those houses. I just closed one for a client recently. So those are the top 4 so far. If you're agreeing with me in the comment section, let me know. If you're disagreeing with me in the comment section, let me know. If you want the camera guy to get a haircut, also let me know. I love the hair. I'm just kidding. I was kidding about the haircut. It looks great. Okay, he surprised me today with this new hairdo. I loved it. Okay. And if you're loving the camera guy back behind the camera, his name's Bryce, great guy. For all of you that find him on the street and be like, hey, you're on that YouTube channel. He loves it when you come up and say hi. So make sure you do. I do too as well. You know, that's funny is like I go places sometimes and people give me a weird look and then they go, you're the YouTube guy, right? Hey, look, don't be afraid to come up and say hi. I love it. I enjoy it a lot. All right. Number one on this list. This is an area where they are benefiting greatly from the Elon migration. They are benefiting greatly from all of the I-35 or the 130 corridor development. They are taking in this with stride, and that is Kyle. Now, if you remember, I had the mayor of Kyle on my channel, and the mayor of Kyle graciously came on and gave us a lot of information. I think Kyle has a lot going for it in 2025, and this is an area that if I'm looking to invest, I might be investing. Now, the school districts, one of the lower on the list as far as school districts. Don't take it from me. When I'm talking about school districts, go to niche, do your homework, look at the areas that are going to benefit you. There's a lot of really good family neighborhoods out there. There's a lot of, you know, young professional neighborhoods. There's a lot of neighborhoods for everybody in Kyle, and I think this is one of those areas. Look, 13% increase in purchases this year. Why is that? Their pricing out there is $351,000. The median for the US is $430,000, so they're well below that. I think that they're primed for continued growth. They're only down 2.7%. So if you actually look at Hayes is down, but that's because Buda is down almost 11%. So they're kind of tied to Buda there. But look, Kyle, 58% of their inventory right now is new construction, which means that you can come in, negotiate, and get a good deal on a property. And look, their months of inventory is only a 4 months inventory. So it's not as high as some of the areas, which we'll get. You want me to go through some of the stats, don't you? Don't worry, I'll go through some of the stats on the other stuff. But Kyle's at 93.8% close to list price ratio. So they're showing me that you're getting deals. Most of their inventory right now is new construction. So you need a new home in an area that's developing, that's growing like crazy. If you haven't seen some of the growth in Kyle is blowing up. Every time I go down there, I swear there's a new coffee shop, there's a new restaurant, there's a new school, there's new this, new that. I think Kyle is one of those areas that's like literally like taking this growth and they're pushing, and I couldn't be happier to put Kyle as number one on my list. So do you agree? Do you not agree? Let me go through some of the stats I found really interesting. Again, I said Buda has a 13% increase in purchases this year, but they have a almost 11% decrease in pricing, which means that a lot of people wanted to be close to Austin. They bought in at the height of the market, drove that price up, and now you're seeing that price come down because you can get a lower priced home slightly further lower south in Kyle. The median price for Buda right now is $369,000. So I still think it's a good price, but they are at 95% list to close price ratio. How that's possible, I have no idea, because they are at a 5 months inventory. Here's some other interesting stats. Gerald. And by the way, if you want, so when we give this information to our private clients, we don't give it to you as here's the best place to buy. We give it to you as where's the best place to buy for you. So we really sit down, listen to what you're looking for, looking at the areas that are going to benefit you, and really getting you the best home and area for what you're looking for. So having all this data is really important. So that's why I put together this data for my team to talk to clients. Gerald, if you're looking for the lowest place to buy, just to buy, it's going to be Gerald. $280,000 is the median. They are down 3% this year, but they only have about 3.2 months of inventory. That's because Gerald is building like crazy. 60% of their inventory is new construction. So I found that really, really good information. If you are looking for the best place that's going to be the cheapest outside of town, I think Gerald's going to be that spot. Other interesting stuff on here, Lago Vista. A lot of you like to hear about Lago Vista. Lago Vista is 93.8 close to list price ratio, and only about 30% of their homes are new construction, but they're almost 11 months of inventory, which means not a lot of people are moving there. So that might be an area that if you're looking for a good deal, I can tell you Eileen helped a client out there. Somebody bought a house out there for a little over $1 million, but we saved them $130,000 on that property because it appraised for $130,000 more. Really proud of Eileen on that deal. So I got a lot of good agents on my team here. Round Rock is down 4.3% year over year. I found that pretty interesting. Round Rock would probably be number 6 on my list if I just feel like I'm tired of Round Rock. Are you tired of Round Rock? You tell me in the comment section. I mean, people are still moving there. It's number 2 place where people move to. Let's see, other good information. People get mad at me for not talking about San Marcos. San Marcos. I said San Marcos in the past, and people got offended that I said San Marcos. Kissing Tree, really great golf course if you want a nice executive golf course. San Marcos is down 2.8%, and the median price is $340,000. I've had clients go out there like to some of that newer construction stuff, and they have homes in the 800 price point, like Perry and Highlands have got some really nice homes out there, but 53% of their inventory is new construction. So if you're looking for another area, that might be a decent area as well. You tell me in the comment section, what other areas would you like to hear? Did you enjoy this video? Do you want to come hang out with me at Cosmic Coffee one day? You tell me in the comment section. Jeremy Knight the Night, your favorite Austin realtor. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell Bryce hi. We'll see you in the next video.